All right. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. This is Valerie from People Matters, and we are back with another exciting session of our webcast in partnership with Mercer Metal. And this time, our topic is getting the most out of your campus hiring programs and how to access your candidate fit with technology. Research suggests that 50 to 60% of jobs are made on the first day, and the rest are made during the 6 months of an academic year. To know what makes an effective, scalable campus hiring program, you will need to understand four core pillars, which we are going to discuss in this webinar. In this webinar, you will learn how to devise an effective campus hiring strategy across the following four pillars, which include building campus intelligence, what does the modern workforce want, pre-placement engagement, screening the candidates with the right assessment tools, and conducting effective interviews, especially when hiring from campus. To walk us through their expert views today, we have with us Siddharth Gupta, the Chief Executive Officer of Mercer and Metal, and Vachaspati Saxena, Head of Talent Acquisition at General Electric India Technology Center. So, hi Siddharth and hi Vachas. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you, Valerie, and thanks, Watches, for being part of this webcast.
Thanks,
So,
thanks, Valerie, and thanks, Siddharth. Really excited to be part of this webcast.
it is wonderful to have you here to just let our audience know a little bit about our speakers today. Siddharth has been able to see Mercer and Metal grow from an early stage startup to now one of the largest corporate online assessment entity in India, and is one of the fastest growing HR tech startups in the world now. Vachaspati Saxena, he's the head of talent acquisition at General Electric India Technology Center. He is an industry leader with over 18 years of experience and currently heads talent acquisition for technology and digital hiring at GE India for GE Aviation, Renewables, Power, and GE Global Research, and is based at the GE's India Technology Center. He's responsible for hiring more than 1,000 engineers and technologists every year. So I know you must questions for our wonderful speakers, but we do have time saved for you towards the end of the podcast once we walk you through the exciting topic that we have for you today. So for those who are live, listening to us live, you can simply post the questions at any time during the session in the comment sections, and we will try to respond to you as many questions as our time allows. So as we have an exciting topic to discuss in this webcast, without any further delay, let me invite Siddharth to take over. Thanks, Siddharth.
Hi, everybody. So, for the global audience, I usually shorten my name to Sid. I want to thank Valerie, first of all, for a glowing introduction, but also the People Matters team behind this webcast. They are great partners to us, and it's always pleasure working with them. Vachis, heartfelt thanks to you for taking out time. I know it's a big role, and all of us usually are in a grilling schedule, so taking out time and being part of this webcast would have sure taken some commitment from your end, and thank you so much for that. I usually start most of my interactions with introducing the speakers beyond what just the announcers talk about, because there are a lot of stories behind the people who speak to you, and it's always wonderful for the audience to know the speakers better, so that the message comes across more effectively. So I would speak a bit about myself and Vachis of whatever I know of Vachis, and then I would maybe ask Vachis to speak a couple of words about him, how his corporate journey has been, and then we would dive right into the topic. So a bit about me and Vachis. Both of us are nearly 2 decades old in the industry. We speak to you from a vantage point of experience. A bit of gray hair on my part as well, and whenever somebody introduces me that I've seen a lot of things grow and become bigger, I'm reminded of the age that is catching up with me. But it's been exciting. I've been with I'm in my current role, CEO for Mercer Metal. We are 200, 400 people set up in Gurgaon with customers, nearly 3,000 odd customers across 90 plus countries. I joined Metal about 3.5 years back from a large company called SAP. When finally after 16, 17 years, I thought, let me hang my big company shoes and dive into the exciting world of startups. Worked with SAP. Before that, I had a short stint with EMC and a longish stint at Hewlett Packard and Compaq. And I was just remembering with Vachus that I think I started my career managing GE Technology Center as one of my customers. So it's a pleasure to be on this forum with somebody from GE Technology Center. Jackwell Center is one of the pioneering research and development centers set up in India way back, when I think me and Vachus both started our career. So I think that said about me. I would dip into my experience of working with nearly 3,000 odd customers, helping them hire the right talent over the last 4 years. Plus, I would speak from my experience as a hiring manager in my 16 years in corporate India. And uh, to make things very, very clear, Vachus is the expert on board. He knows the craft of hiring the right talent in an organization. So I would look forward to learning from him more than talking along with him. So Vachus, over to you. If you could just tell the audience a bit about yourself, and then maybe we could dive deep into the topic.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Sid, and thanks, Valerie. Thanks, People Matters team, for inviting me. To be a part of this webcast. Really excited to be here, and looking forward to share whatever little experience that I have with respect to campus hiring. To tell about myself, I have been in the industry for the last about 18, 19 years now. An HR professional by profession, and I've been in the field of talent acquisition by choice for the last, I would say about 16 years out of my overall 18, 19 years of experience, wherein I have worked with the organizations like Wipro, organizations like Ramco, and now with GE, uh, and extensively involved in hiring across all the various different spectrums. Whether it's lateral hiring or campus hiring or leadership hiring, I've done it all. Uh, Campus is something which is really close to my heart, in the sense because somewhere, you know uh, this is the way, this is the particular route in which we really get the best of the talent, while hiring people literally can always help fill positions fast and in time, but campus is really where organizations get built. And that's where uh, I would say that, okay, I have a deep invested uh, emotion associated with the campus piece, and really love to talk about it, and share my thoughts and opinions on the same. So over to you, Siddharth, for
Thanks,
taking.
Marcus. I hope we are able to keep the audience engaged and answer some of the critical questions on the topic. So, the topic reads, how do you get most out of your campus hiring program? And I think it needs us to settle the fundamental question. That is, uh, do we need fresh talent? I think that's a very important question for most of the organizations to answer, because it needs you to think about uh, what job roles and what problems do you want the fresh talent to solve for. And that would kind of answer for you what kind of competencies are you looking for in fresh talent. And that in turn would also point towards where you need to go, what kind of money do you need to spend to get the fresh talent on board. So thought that I would throw a couple of data points at Vachus as well as the audience. These are out of a couple of surveys that we have done, plus third-party sources. Uh, One of the data point is which came out in our state of talent acquisition survey that we did in 2019, where 74% of the respondents, these are all HR talent acquisition professionals. They said, 74% of them said that we are really struggling to get the right talent on board. And then in another survey, when we went deeper, understanding the tech hiring and the technology adoption trend, 67% of the respondents said that campus is a great source of getting tech talent on board. But in the same breath, they also mentioned that uh, we need to visit nearly one fourth of the respondents said we need to visit 25 plus campus is a season for us to get the right talent. So if you summarize all of this, you have crunch of talent. Campus is a great source of getting the talent, but it is a laborious operationally. It is a nightmare. It's quite costly as well as we go forward. So, given these three data points, let me ask my first question to Vachis. Vachis, would love to hear your views on fresher hiring versus campus hiring, importance of overall campus as part of the total talent acquisition. How much time does it take, especially for a TA practitioner like yourself? How much time and resources do you spend of yours? And do you see any trends across industries on what kind of job roles, what kind of skills that companies reach out to campus for?
Sure. Right. So, I think, campus hiring, as I said, earlier in my introduction, also is something which is really close to my heart. And the reason for that is, as a TA practitioner, I definitely, firmly believe that this is probably the most important part of hiring which you can do for an organization. The simple reason for it is this, from a, hiring people straight from campus, has multifold advantages for an organization. Number one, you are bringing in fresh talent who are coming with a very different mindset. um, you know uh, from an innovation perspective, it's really great. And in my career, what I have seen is that some of the best solutions to problems which the organization has been dealing with, from a business perspective, come with fresh minds, fresh innovation which comes straight from campus. The other piece is, in terms of the kind of newer technology stacks and the deeper skills which they bring from campus, because these people are, mind you, I mean, they've just learned the craft. Um, they are fresh. They are coming with a lot of energy. They're coming with a lot of enthusiasm. On top of that, technical expertise, technical skills which they have learned. Whereas people who have probably passed out 5 years back or 10 years back, they would remember, and the things which they have taught in college, but it may not be something which is absolutely fresh in their mind. So a lot of times, people who are coming fresh, they are able to give much better solutions. They are able to bring in much more deeper technical expertise compared to people who have been there in the organization for a longer period of time or who are coming with experience. Another aspect, which is, and the beauty of it all is that, you know uh, when you are catching them fresh, when you're catching them young, coming from campus directly, you are able to mold them across to your culture. A big problem with lateral hiring is the unlearning which goes with it. So if somebody who's coming with probably 10 years of experience in the market, has worked with a competitor, and joining you, first of all, for the person to get used to and acclimatize to your culture, that may require a lot of unlearning. There would be a lot of practices which the person has learned over a period of time, and it doesn't go away so easily. So that's something, which has been a constant challenge with lateral hiring, and campus gives a very straight way forward in terms of, bringing the people in at the right time when they are still young, still fresh, and they don't have any significant unlearning to do before they actually get into the flow with the organization. So I've seen some of the best technology leaders, some of the best business leaders, uh, getting hired from campus directly, and rising to great positions within the organizations that I have worked with. And that states true for whether it's for GE or whether it's for Wipro or for whether it's for any other organization that I have worked with till date. So definitely from that perspective, I see, okay, this is probably, one of the most important aspect of the hiring process, from a campus hiring piece which is there, and very critical aspect of the talent management strategy for any organization. Coming to the kind of roles and the kind of industries which are most in demand from a campus perspective, I think, look, I mean, every organization across industries, they would have their own requirements, and time and time again they would look at campus hiring, and accordingly, whether to go to campus or not go to campus. But I think somewhere what I see is that the kind of skills wherein what people require the most coming from campus as of this stage are the skills which are not so easily available from out in the market, which are typically skills related to computer science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and related areas, as well as skills in the area of business in terms of sales, business development, marketing, and so forth, which are something which organizations look at campuses specifically to to bring in and help them grow, on the top. Along with that, at the back, what is also required is the behavioral competencies with respect to learnability. How the people are they able to learn quickly and adapt to organizations, uh, and softer skills like the attitude, the will, and the motivation to collaborate and learn together. So that's what I would say are the topical, I would say the typical things which are highly in demand.
Awesome. Thanks, Vajas. Maybe maybe I'll wear my personal hat, and then as a CEO for Metal, what do we do? And then we would come back to some models that we've created around helping our customers getting fresh talent. So I've been a big proponent of campus recruitment, of fresh recruitment, because I got my first job on campus. I remember my days. We used to have a pre-placement offer program. If you are a great intern, then you get placed before the placement week on campus, and that was one feather that every good student used to try for, whether it was B school or it was a tech campus. And so I remember me gloating over the fact that I didn't have to sit through multiple rounds of interviews and things because I got my placement. I still remember my first boss, Balu Durai Swami, who was a CEO for Compact. I had worked in Compact on an internship for 2 months as part of my MBA. And when I reached there were 25 different interns. So that was the first year Compact was running their internship program. And they hired fresh from campus. And uh, all of us, all of us who were, then in touch with each other have done phenomenally well and have risen to various organizations. So Hewlett Packard, a lot of leadership is from that batch, as well as many of them who left and joined other good companies are also at the top of the pyramid there. So I think from a personal standpoint, I'm a big proponent, and that's what is something that we do at Metal as well. 4 years back, we made sure that we strategize around what kind of talent can come into a startup like us, and where all freshers can come and add value. And it has been an amazing experience. So we go to tech campuses, we go to all the tiers of tech campuses, we go to all the tiers of B schools, and we bring in nearly 10 to 15% of our overall strength today as interns. And we have a fairly structured program around figuring out who can contribute and who cannot. And we give them very challenges, various types of challenges, which are way beyond their comfort zone, to see who is up to the mark. And there is a lot of science behind the competencies that we look for. And finally we bring in a lot of freshers into again, just to echo your thoughts, tech team, a lot of talent comes in there. We bring in a lot of people for business development as well. Sitting out of India, we cater to nearly 90 plus countries. So we need a lot of fresh talent, which has got a strong tech bent of mind, because we have a technical product as well, which goes out in the market. So we populate a lot of youngsters, a lot of these teams with youngsters from good colleges, and it has worked wonderfully for Mercer Metal as well. So thanks, Vachus, for that, sharing that experience. Coming back, something from our experience as partners to companies who look at us for inputs on campus hiring and on fresh recruitment. We actually advise them on 4 Ws, and this slide would prove that we have a lot of talent from fresh from campus, because I remember my days when I used to be in love with 7 S's and 4 Ws, and 10 O's of organizational behavior. So some of the dilemmas which we help answer: once you've decided what kind of job roles uh, are open where you could get fresh talent, you would have to dig deeper into understanding and defining what kind of competencies are you looking for your organization. And beyond that, once you've frozen that you want to go to campus and bring people in, these are the four questions that you need to answer, and which we help some of our customers answer. Which campuses do we need to go if we need to hire for the job roles and the competencies and the salary brackets that we have in mind? When do we approach these campuses? What kind of competencies and how do I measure it? That would be the whom of the W's. And then finally, what do we offer? So many a times we overemphasize salaries, but beyond salaries, what do I offer to a young talent to make sure that they come on board, keeping in mind that I have a tight budget on which I need to work. So just putting these thoughts out, Vachis, you've had a long career in talent acquisition. I'm sure you have a lot of interesting anecdotes on what went right and what went haywire in a particular campus drive.
Sure.
If you could share that with the audience and with me, it'll be great.
Sure. No, absolutely. I think, very strongly resonate with the four Ws. I think, these are absolutely imperative and the bedrock of, when we talk about the campus hiring strategy for the organization. The organizations have to actually really look into all the four aspects in terms of what exactly they are actually, what time they want to go to a campus, which campuses they want to really target, and how they want to actually go about their strategy. So I'll talk about my current organization, which is the India Technology Center, in that essentially. So we primarily look at hiring people for research and technology roles, and in that essence, as an organization, we have taken a conscious call of looking at, every year we look at the colleges which are offering the kind of courses which we require, as the technological inputs for our people. And we shortlist those colleges at the start of the year as to which where we will want to visit, if we want to remove a college from our list from the previous year, or we want to add a new college in our list. We look at based on the
Whatever.
So I think we've just lost Vachas, but I think Vachas, would you just mind joining again? Until then, we can ask Siddharth to kind of carry forward the train of thought.
Absolutely. So, anyway, with all the gray hairs, people ask me not to speak too much. Now that you've given me a
It's
forum,
the floor is yours, Siddharth.
so let me speak to the audience about some of the best practices, something that we have learned over the last 5-6 years of supporting big companies in their campus hiring process, and basically sharing this with the audience so that I give them some framework to
Yes.
put thoughts while we are discussing this on the on webcast. So one pillar of your decision would be on building campus intelligence. I think that's what Vaj
Mhm.
was talking about as well. More the campus participations that you go through over years, you're able to understand what job roles, what kind of talent that is out there for what job roles, and then you also
Mhm.
understand and get a good heat map of where the qualified candidates are today and what do you
Right.
need to do to get them on board, what kind of salary brackets are they available in, and things like that. So once you have built your own framework for
Mhm.
campus intelligence, you need to then start also thinking about how do you want to build a brand for yourself. So if you're a GE, you might have a strategy to leverage the global
Mhm.
brand that GE already has. If you are a fledgling startup, then you might have to invest in building a brand for yourself on campus.
Correct.
We have examples of both large brands as well as small brands who consciously go to campus beforehand with a strategy to position themselves in on campus with the kind of talent that they want to attract for themselves, and then at the end also around out of the deluge of people who are available, how do you have a strategy for selection that, rather than rejection? Because if you remember earlier days, make a tough paper, make a lot of people take that tough paper and just reject people. That used to be the
Yeah.
strategy. Give a very
Yeah.
tough questionnaire, and very few people are able to qualify, and then you are blown at the fact that you got the top talent there. But I think what most organizations today are doing is they are flipping the question. They're saying, I want to not reject, but I want to hire. So I want to have selection strategy. So they go deeper into understand what are the cultural nuances of working in their organization. They want to
Mhm.
understand what competencies resonate with their company for that job role, for the post that you want to offer to this young talent. And then they ask us to curate an assessment which would help them assess for the competencies that they want to see in the candidate, rather than just make a very tough assessment barrier and reject people. I think
So
these
it's a
are, yes.
I was just asking, so it's a very different type of a question paper, if you will, that that you design for the campus recruits, and I guess it's a more of a study of your own organization as well. You become more aware of what is going on in your culture, so that you can hire the best, that best culture fit, along with technology fit.
Culture, Valerie, culture is one of the aspects. It is to do with so organizational values is something that percolates across the organization, but a part of it gets absorbed in the job specific competencies that you're trying to define, and then the nuances of which geography are you offering that role for. A lot of other things also come into play. So deep diving and understanding what are those competencies that you're looking for in a candidate, and then choosing the right campus to go to, and then assessing them correctly in a free, transparent manner. I think these are three important decisions of hiring on campus. Yeah.
I
Uh,
think we have watchers with us again.
Yeah. Hi. Sorry, technology problems. I think
No
then it
problem.
stopped working for me.
No
Yeah.
worries. So,
We were
Bachus,
just, yeah.
you were sharing your experiences with specific to G and the talent acquisition strategy there.
Over to you, Vachas. If you would share some of the best practices that you were discussing when it comes to campus hiring, especially when it pertains to GE.
Yeah, sure. So I was, talking about the resumes with the same. We look at GE, what we do is that we look at the pedagogy of the courses which are being offered by various colleges and universities across the country and as well as overseas, and shortlist the colleges based on that. And that's when, based on that, then further we plan the strategy ahead in terms of, how we are going to approach. The way we actually do it is to have deep engagement with in
I
terms
think
of,
I think we are unable to hear Vachas properly. I think I'm going to again have to give the floor to Sid until we
research
figure that out.
in certain places in terms of, having an internship program, or you know uh, participation in tech fairs, participation in some of those
Yeah, I think we're struggling with watches. I think by we'll give him some more time to solve for it. We're still halfway through the mark, so I think he has the time to
Yes,
kind
yes,
of
definitely.
coming back. I think we spoke about job roles
Mhm,
that the company needs to identify before and they need to be convinced about those competencies needed for that particular job role being available in the fresh talent which is there on campus. I think once you've frozen on what kind of posts and job roles you want to fill up with the talent available on campus, we spoke about building campus intelligence, that is scanning the market. We have one such report that we author every year where
mhm,
we go in depth into giving this data free of cost to all industry about what kind of talent is available across which campus at what price point. And For many of our customers, we work proactively with them at the beginning of the year itself in defining what job roles can they hire from and what would be the most optimal campus recruitment plan for them. So I think that's one area that you would either have existing data if you've done multiple campus recruitments before this year, or you need to kind of lean on experts like ourselves, and there would be many other such reports available as well. Once you build a good framework around what talent is available at what price in which campus, then we've now seen a trend wherein whether it's a big brand or a small brand, most companies today are investing much earlier than the placement week. So they are coming to us, they are asking us to help them tell a story on campus. So, for example, I'll give one example. We work with Amazon. We conducted a ACE Challenge hackathon for them on campus across India, where we ran a contest which allowed most of the students to get a feel of what it means to work for Amazon. What does Amazon stand for? What kind of culture do they have? What kind of technologies and innovations are happening in Amazon? So through that contest, Amazon could take their story onto campus way before they went there, for recruitment. Um, Whereas a student, rather than having a 20-minute or a half an hour relationship with a company by giving a recruitment test, they got a window of nearly 2 weeks, 3 weeks to engage with Amazon in a contest where they had a lot of mentors from Amazon helping them design and solve that challenge. So they were able to get to know Amazon better. And I think we served both the organization as well as the student community by doing this. So I think one of the strategies that most companies are adopting as we move forward is having a larger connect strategy with your target audience on campus. And I think today technology allows you at a very, very low cost. You don't need to travel to these campuses. You could have much longer relationships that you could define on campus and build a brand from scratch, even if you don't have much of resonance on campus as yet. And then once you've invested this much into the campus, your probability of getting the right talent when the placement week comes is far higher. Yeah. So these are the three best practices that we usually speak to our customers about. I think I see Vachus back. Vachus, are you back now?
Yeah, I'm back. I hope you are able to hear me.
Yeah,
yes,
Vachus.
we are.
So
Awesome.
I was telling Valerie that if you give somebody with gray hair a forum like this, I can go on and speak till the evening. So we better get Vachus back quickly.
We have watches back now, so yes, um, good to
So,
have you back.
yeah, yeah, sure. So, I think technology has its own challenges. Unfortunately, we've tried with two different kinds of networks, and still some other the problem came. So anyhow, I was talking about the story and in terms of how we've been going about, sourcing for the campuses that we have. And in terms of so one important piece which I've seen contributing to our success in campus hiring has strong employer value proposition. Employer value proposition is not only about branding the organization or telling them about the organization. It's about creating a compelling human proposition in terms of what's the kind of work that people are going to do in the organization, and how they can actually look forward to contribute uh, to the society, to the world at large, by being a part of an organization. And some of the best just are probably offering the better location or better facilities or benefits. Is the overall proposition in terms of the kind of work that they will do, whether in the field of energy or power. uh, the deep research which these people will do, the kind of technologies they will work for, the kind of impact they are going to make to the world at large. And that's what really helps us in terms of attracting some of the best talent from the top colleges.
Vachis, I just spoke about the fact that one trend we are seeing in the industry is, uh, other than just having a relationship for that slot of placement week, companies today are investing quite a bit of effort into having a continuous relationship on campus. That is engaging. Once they've homed on to the right campuses, they have events. They have online events like hackathons and contests and internship programs through which they expose and tell their story more effectively over a longer period, so that they're able to groom and convey nuances of their organization to the students in a more effective way, so that when it comes to employing them, they have an edge over others. So I spoke to the audience a bit about how we work with Amazon. We also work very closely with Microsoft, where we worked with them to connect with women coders on tech campuses. And we had a contest which ran over a couple of weeks, where we had phenomenal response. And they were able to meet their diversity agenda that they had. I think it was very, very effective, and now we're doing this for a much larger coverage across multiple countries. So have you seen this trend, and does GE do this as well? Vachus, you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Vachas.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
okay. Yeah, talking about it. Yeah. So this is a great way in GE healthcare business has in the past held hackathons young talent. Some of the most, I would say, attract some of the best candidates. We also got certain very good ideas. The great ideas from a business perspective. Uh, I think we had the healthcare, which was about bringing out some in terms of actually use digital technologies to provide a more cost-effective and better healthcare solution to the mass. And some of the ideas, and this hackathon was actually open to all. It was open to colleges, as well as we had made it open to a set of population which was probably 0 to 2 years experience but outside college. But some of the best ideas which came were actually from people who were there in the second year or third year of college. And we ourselves were surprised by it, at a business level. to see how they can, the kind of fresh thought which these people could bring in. And of course, what we did was, we post the hackathon, we leveraged these people, we engaged with them over a longer period of time, till the time it came for their placements, and we could actually end up hiring them. So I think this is a great way to connect, and one of the best ways to identify talent early, and to engage them about, with the organization.
Awesome. Thanks, Vachas. Thanks for your inputs. Moving on. So I think let me just try and link it all together. So we spoke about the importance of fresh talent in an organization, because I think the industry, if not completely being disrupted, in parts is feeling the impact of digital disruption. There is a need to bring in fresh talent, which is more recent in terms of skills on some of the newer technologies. We need to have somewhere in our org chart ability to give some space to an agile workforce, which would work on cutting edge technologies to keep make sure that we have the edge going forward, and hence the need for fresh hires. Then we spoke about once you've homed on to what kind of job roles are open, where fresh talent can come in, we need to go deeper into understanding what kind of competencies are we looking for in these people. And then we spoke a bit about how a campus intelligence framework is needed by every company to ensure that they are able to plan and strategize well in advance about what kind of talent exists in which campus at what price point, so that they are able to optimize a campus recruitment strategy for themselves. And then we moved on to speak about how companies are being creative and are looking for a much deeper and a longer relationship with students on campus, not only with a perspective of hiring them, but also using that and crowdsourcing some of the creative ideas which could add value to them as well as to the industry. So I think that's where we have come on till now. I think the important part is once you've done all of this, you have a good map of what kind of skills are available across different campuses. What we do as a best practices is we work with companies to define what competencies are you looking for in a candidate. And I want to make the distinction that there is quite a bit of effort that needs to go into defining competencies, because this is young talent, so they might not have the knowledge or the past knowledge of how you've done these jobs earlier. They might not even have the skills on your specific tools that you're looking for, and they might not come with a baggage of a lot of experience of maybe handling a particular domain. So how do you define competencies which you're looking for? And that's a science in itself. And a lot of it is to do with and I think Bachas also spoke about it, was around learning agility. When a fresh talent comes, you know that there is no one knowledge or one level of knowledge or skill that you need him to have. You want him to experiment, you want him to grow. And learning agility, that is a mix of your aptitude as well as your attitude towards growth, is a must for a young talent to come in. Similarly, a lot of effort needs to go in by the important stakeholders of the company to define these competencies and make sure that we pick measurable competencies on campus. So a lot of our work goes around not only helping you choose the right talent and getting a brand developed on campus, but also around how should you creatively measure the right competencies so that your end result, which is getting the right talent on board, is met. So that's what we do. And post that, Vachas, we also have a lot of experience around companies engaging with people who they have given offers to, because mind you, these are people who still have maybe a semester to go, and you would want to engage them to make sure that your offer to joining ratio is good as well. So any experience, Vachas, on that which you could share with the audience?
I think other part, very very critical. Uh, one very critical aspect Yeah. Hi. Yeah, so one very critical aspect which is there from a campus hiring perspective is that once you have done a selection of candidates, then before they actually end up joining, there is a time period, there is a gap. You know,
Watches, you'll have to repeat yourself. I can't hear you.
I think we lost Watches again.
So
um,
I
so
need People Matters to pay me for this webcast then for handling the whole. If not that, a copy
uh,
from you.
yes, definitely a coffee. That sounds like a plan. I think you've earned that one, Sid.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
coming back, I think maybe while Vachu stabilizes his systems,
Yes.
maybe just going through uh, these kind of reports is what we publish. I think it would help the audience. This is a representative view of it. What kind of competencies we could
Correct.
make more slices and dices? How many people with what competencies at what salary structures for which industry? All of these cuts are available for companies to strategize well in advance before the campus season comes. I was talking about the Amazon Ace Challenge. Imagine connecting. So this experience was Amazon wanting to be on tech campuses in India, wanting a community on Alexa, and these were very open-ended challenges, industry challenges that they threw at students, and there was amazing response. It was not for about recruitment; it was more of students ideating, solving real-life problem. For example, an airport management system or a great library management system, and then building a prototype on Alexa, and then we had the global leadership of Amazon come down and facilitate the winners of this challenge. Similarly, I spoke a bit about Microsoft. Microsoft again, is a big customer of ours. Going to campus, connecting with your target audience, and making most of the talent available on campus is something that every company should have a strategy for. And then I spoke about assessments, and assessments is core to us. But we realized that on campus, the competencies available would be very different. For example, there are three buckets of competency. One is uh, the domain knowledge and skill that you have. So if you leave aside tech, other domains, maybe you might not have an expert in HR or finance on campus because these are freshers. But what kind of knowledge, what kind of skill are you looking for from campus? Beyond the domain, what kind of cognitive skills are you looking for? Cognitive skills coupled with the personality tools give a very, very good measure of what kind of an agility the person has. If you throw him in the deep end of the pool, whether he has the basic intelligence to crunch numbers, look at patterns in data, take quick decisions. Fluid intelligence is one of the competencies. So so we work with companies to understand what kind of competencies would work for them for which job role, and we help them filter those kind of competencies and filter people with those kind of competencies into their company. Then a very, very important aspect which mostly companies miss is the interview round that you have, because I think in India Inc., at least I can speak about, because I've spent 2 decades there. We don't have standardization of interviews across organizations. I think that's one area which needs a lot of improvement. That's why we invested in a structured interview platform, which could be online or could be face to face as well, where depending on the kind of scores the candidate has scored, we suggest what kind of interview, competency based interview everyone should conduct. And by this tool, we try and standardize an interview taken by Siddharth versus an interview taken by Vachis. It meets the basic hygiene. So all of us would have our own personal style of interviewing, but at least we know that from an organization standpoint, I have some parameters on which I'm evaluating various candidates. So structured interviews, and especially if you're looking at tech domain, then it goes deeper into understanding, giving a coding problem, and actually seeing the quality of code that the person writes. So all of these are ways and means of ensuring that we, once we've homed on to the competencies that we're looking for in students, we are able to measure it in an effective way, so that a data based, fair and transparent real time decision can be taken about the campus recruitment. So this kind of summarizes the best practices that we have. Uh, I had thought of opening it up to the audience for any questions, but if Vachas is on board, or Valerie, if you have any thoughts that you want to
Uh,
add.
Vachas, would you like to add some thoughts here? When we talk about the best way to go forward in this, hiring strategy, especially on the campus.
Yes, definitely. So, thanks, Sid, for holding the fort. I think, I've been having a probably more than unlucky day with respect to technology, so not
It's
being able
okay.
to connect also. Uh, yeah, so from a strategy perspective, I think do strongly resonate with most of the things which Sid has actually already enumerated and stated on the same. I think it's very critical to really define what is the kind of campuses, what is going to be your campus strategy in terms of do you really want to go to campus at all, or do you want to go for a particular type of campuses or a particular number of campuses? I think a lot depends upon your organizational strategy and organizational planning. And I think it's very important and critical for any organization to first of all actually determine what exactly are they actually looking for as a part of their talent strategy, and then create a very strong employer value proposition in terms of what exactly do they do, what exactly will they want the people who will join from campus to do. uh, Also then go on to create a selection plan in terms of how exactly they want to assess candidates in terms of the competencies they require for the candidates to be assessing, for the candidate to be exhibiting, uh, in terms of determining the test, determining
And one more thing that I found was very interesting is that when I think both of you actually spoke about how to kind of engage the recruit before they get placed, and kind of having those challenges issued out, and kind of making sure that the millennial workforce is actually cares about the brand and is wanting to come on board. So, kind of incorporating all of that into the campus hiring strategy. I think that was a very valid point that you brought up in this discussion, I must say. Speaking
So
of, Mhm.
yeah, uh, I think one of the, I'm looking at the audience questions. I think one of the questions that has come to us is, uh, give us a tip about how to attract the millennial workforce to the company.
Yes, I was about to say that some
So,
people are trying to attract the millennial workforce here.
I'm a big convert, frankly. I came from a company where I think average. I was the youngest VP in SAP at 40, and when I came here, I saw that I was the oldest employee in a startup. So currently, average age in metal is about 27, and I'm as old as it gets in this company. So I'm a big convert. I used to be very skeptical, especially after reading so much of social media and things about millennials and things like that. I'm a convert, frankly. I feel what companies, or you don't need a strategy to attract millennials. I think you need to be honest, if you ask me, because if you very honestly lay out your vision of what you're trying to achieve, and if your organization has built a culture where they feel they would be able to speak out their mind, they would be able to knock on any door without the fear of failure, or without the fear of looking stupid. And if these two criteria are met, I have found millennials as one of the most hardworking people, because you read popular articles, and they would say millennials don't want to work on weekends and they want to be back in the office and things like that, which is all I think it's a lot of figment of imagination of media. I've seen guys really work hard, okay, and I've seen people work as hard as it is needed to get the job done, whether it is a Saturday, Sunday, or a wee hours of the morning. So my suggestion, or one tip would be that be honest about what you're trying to achieve. Don't try to play them, and give them a platform for them to be able to perform at their best, and be there to hold their hands, because for sure they'll make mistakes,
Of course.
and you need to be there to make sure that they are told again and again that it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail quickly, and then recoup and attempt again. I think that would be my tip to all people who are looking at attracting the right talent, and especially millennial talent, into their organization.
That's wonderful. That is actually a really important insight. Kind of, you don't have to completely revamp your strategy, but kind of just be honest and direct about what you're trying to do. Another audience question is, someone has asked, where can executive course campus hires fit into the organization, and what different value do they have as compared to normal course campus hires? So I think this is about the skills that are, that you guys are looking for. I think that is where the question falls. So would you
So,
like to take it up to that?
so I wear my hat of management thinker and reader. So
Yes,
executive courses. See, I have a lot of friends who didn't do an MBA early, and then they took a break in their career and went and did a executive program, or they didn't take a break and they did a course by the side. What it
correct.
does is it adds to your understanding of what your role is overall.
Mhm.
I think many a times in the rigmarole of your day-to-day activities that you need to perform as part of your job, you forget the larger story. I think ex-PGP programs make you step back a bit from your
Mhm.
day-to-day work, and it allows you to take in a bigger perspective and a larger campus in which you're existing on a day-to-day basis in your corporate life. So I think I really admire people who are able to do both in parallel, because it takes quite a bit of toll. And my two bits to them is definitely people who have the experience and the academic merits of understanding. So knowledge, you get knowledge from these courses. You have the experience of executing something on ground, and once you've done these kind of XPGP courses, it gives you a much larger and bigger perspective of the organization. I think there is definitely a place for such talent in many organizations, and I think so we hire uh, quite a bit of people when we are looking for so we hire them under the umbrella of lateral entry, people who have experience and who have done a specific course to improve their employability. So uh, I hope I
So
answered.
yes, definitely, and that makes complete sense to kind of keep on building your capability, even if you are in a senior role, to kind of just step back, look at the bigger picture, and upskill yourself in this digital age, so to speak.
Totally agree.
Let's move on to the so let's move on to the next question. I think one of our audience members has asked about, how companies are willing to spend, earlier than placement weeks, and how can these messaging campaigns be made clear and easily understood, and how should, an HR person ensure that these engagement numbers are high for a better ROI? So I think the
Wow.
question is about ROI on these messaging campaigns. So
Somebody is
either one
really
of you.
finding it tough to justify why they're spending money on that. So let me
Yeah.
attempt it. So I think I would speak from our experience of assisting some of these larger companies with on-campus brand building efforts. Uh, Rightly so, the the KPIs or the measurement metrics is not the number of people who took an assessment, which would be the case in case you just go there for the placement week. The You're looking, the idea is to attract as many people and message out to as many people as possible. That's why for most of these contests and hackathons, a larger part is to identify campuses, and within those campuses, the target audience that you're trying to reach, and have a good outreach as a strategy. Okay, so that would have a social part to it. There could be on campus presence, and maybe campus ambassadors, which we have on multiple campuses in India. And you could, but the important part is those can only amplify the message that you want to take to the target audience of the students. You need to sit and be on the drawing board in terms of understanding what do you want to convey about your organization, which would attract the right talent for yourself. So I won't take answer maybe names of some of the brands, but many companies, like for example even Mercer Metal, we don't flaunt. Even though we were a startup, we just got bought by Mercer about 7-8 months back. We never flaunted that we have great bean bags and a great cafe for you to come and correct. We were deeply rooted in a culture where merit was the most important aspect of us selecting people. Communication was not that high, by the way. So we used to be, and we used to look at people who come from humble backgrounds, but are academically very strong. They're hungry to perform. So these were some of the competencies. So I can list them down for you later. But we knew what messages we needed to take to campus. So beyond just looking at amplifying messages, you need to home on to what do you want to convey. Because if you convey something wrong, and you create a picture, and when a talent comes on board, he doesn't find that to happen. If you convey that I'm a very open place, but then he comes on board and he can't knock on any doors, correct? So if he is not getting any help, he will be disillusioned within a week, and you'll find him looking out for a job. So uh, a very important aspect of it is also about going with a very honest and a well directed message. Use all these ways and means of having a good outreach as a strategy. And the metric that you need to look at is number of people who have got engaged, number of people who finally register as part of that contest. Many people who drop out after registration. Many of them would go through a couple of rounds and drop out. But the whole idea is that these pre-season or pre-placement season engagements are not to be looked at in terms of for how long or did they finally join your company or not. They need to be looked at in terms of how did it help the resonance of the brand that you wanted to take onto campus. I think this is a very, very different. So we have very different conversations with our customers when you're talking about campus brand building exercise than just assessment as an exercise.
Very true.
I
So
would,
kind of having that message. Yes, Vachis, please, add in your points as well.
so I would like to add just a few things to what you said. I think really like what you said about being genuine, and the actual parameters should be existing in the organization of what we are actually really talking about. Uh, Beyond that, what I would say is a couple of other things which can be done with respect to making sure that the messaging is really effective and easily understood. I think very important to have a connect with the alumnus, probably from those campuses. Uh, for any campus, typically when we go to a campus, there would be mostly somebody or the other who is probably hired from that same campus in the last couple of years in the same in our organization. So these people can actually really help understand what exactly people on the campus today are actually looking for. Also, what kind of messaging is something which will be very, very effective. So these alumni could be very, very critical pillars for amplifying any message at the campus. The other piece, again, something which we have found it very, very effective, is to also understand and engage with the professors, the teachers who are there on the campuses, uh, because the teachers are the ones who really shape opinion for students. So what exactly so a lot of times a student may actually make a decision based on what he sees his other colleagues doing. So if there are probably other friends going for a particular company, he also would be interested to go for that particular organization. So and the teacher is the one who can actually really shape the thought in the right way, that hey, if you go for or engage with this particular kind of an organization, or work in this kind of an area in terms of your summer placements or internship, or probably your earlier experience, that's something which will go help you in your later career. So I think these are the two critical pillars which I would say in any campaign we could actually engage them, and
Mhm.
run the campaign working through them. I think that is something which we have seen as getting very very effective in the past.
Thank you so much for sharing that insight. Because, as you rightly said, creating a network of the alumnus of the particular university that you're trying to target, and also approaching the teachers and getting them on board and explaining them your messages. So I know there are many more questions coming in, but we have maybe just a minute for closing out our thoughts. So just some closing thoughts from you, Sid and Vachis.
Sure. So probably I'll go first, since I didn't get a chance to talk much
Yes,
because
please.
the
Yes, Rachel,
technology.
you have the floor.
Okay, right. So I think there are a lot of things, and I think campus hiring for sure is a very very important aspect of talent management strategy for any organization, and in no way we can say that okay, this is very definitely have to accord the right importance to the entire topic. The thing what we discussed today, I think certain things which are coming out very clearly is in terms of being clear in terms of what we want to hire, first of all, and then charting out the strategy around it. There are a lot of things which can be done with respect to engaging with the candidates early, with respect to assessing them better through the use of technology. The number of technology options and tools available today, and which go beyond just testing them on the technical skills. There are a lot of things which we can do with respect to testing them on areas like learnability, areas like behavioral aspects, and multiple other innovation, etc., including hackathons, as what Sid pointed out, and there are multiple other options, structured interviewing, etc. The key of this entire piece is understanding, starting out, spending time on charting out that hiring strategy very very clearly, and you know is, uh, uh, having the right employer value proposition for the candidates to join your organization, as per me. So that's what I would close with. I think these are the bottom lines which I take from the discussion.
Thanks,
Awesome.
thanks, Vachis. A couple of lines from me. I think uh, we discussed quite a number of things. I think starting on the right note in terms of what role do you expect the fresher to play in your company, and opening up for those job roles and understanding, then working with partners who will tell you where does talent lie for those job roles, and then having a very clear strategy around how you want to attract the right talent to your organization. I think we spoke about pre-season campus presence and building a brand there, and then having ways of means of measuring the right competencies and bringing the right talent on board. I think we couldn't discuss much, but an important part that I'm again seeing as a trend in the industry is once you've made the offer as well. So it's not only about just giving an offer and walking away and then hoping like hell that the talent comes and joins you. A lot of companies are using the last semester or the last mile as a place where they could further nurture that talent. So not only engaging the talent post the offer has been made, but also making them more job ready before they come and knock on the first day of their first job. So having some kind of an engagement post you've given them the offer as well, I think that works wonderfully. I think to all the practitioners of recruitment, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, that this is not a one-off exercise. You'll have to see it as a continuum, because moment you go to campus again and again for different seasons, you would have a very rich data of which would add to the campus the intelligence that I was talking about, wherein for your specific requirements, uh, what kind of talent you saw in the field, which colleges were the best, what falls into your sweet spot in terms of salary structures, and even the cultural nuances of what you're looking for. So what we've seen is, once we go beyond just one season with a couple of our customers, we are able to bring down the cost drastically as well and make it a much sharper campus strategy as we go forward. Because now you know that you don't need to waste time in multiple places. You can have a much sharper, faster, and leaner recruitment team for campus, and you will get a much better bang for your buck going forward. So that's it from my side, Valerie. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you
Vachin.
so much, Sid. Thanks so much, Vachas. Really appreciate all your time. And it has been wonderful to host you both on this webcast. I know we have a lot of questions from the audience, but we can definitely take them offline. So for now, we are coming to the end of our wonderful webcast. I would like to thank our partner for today, that's Mercel and Metal, and our speakers, Siddharth and Vachas, for their invaluable insights for this particular session. Hoping to host you guys again soon. Meanwhile, for the audience members, do provide your feedback in the survey link that will be provided in the chat section, because your input on the topics and the kind of discussions that we have really matters to us. So stay tuned for many more such exciting sessions from our end. And thank you so much once again to Sid and Vachas. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. Take care.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.